What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I am your host, JB, your sports guy. I'm being joined by my good friend, my brother. You can catch him on Max Preps. You can catch him on CrescentCitySports.com. The one, the only VK Jones. VK Jones, what's going on, man?
Good evening. Good evening. How y'all doing? I'm good. Looking forward to another week. Interesting week in sports last week and everything, but we do have some housekeeping a little bit today. We do have some guests today. So go ahead and let's get it going on, Jared.
Definitely. Later on in the show, we will be joined by the Haynes Girls Basketball Coach, Coach Everette Bates. But right now, our special guest, he was a standout player at Carver and at Tulane University. And now he is the head coach of the John F. Kennedy Cougars football team. Everyone, I present to you Coach Lynarise Elpheage. Coach Elpheage, welcome to the show. How you doing, my man?
Man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. I'm doing pretty good.
Coach, we're glad to have you on the show. You know, you're taking time out your busy schedule, getting ready for Haynes this weekend. So thank you for joining us. VK, I'm going to let you start it off. Then I'll go in right after you, my brother.
All right. Now, Lynarise, like we mentioned, our show is different than anything else, but we dig and we dive into each and everything, especially with our guests. But first of all, I want to ask you more than anything else. Let's talk a little bit about your career at George Washington Carver. You came in as the starting quarterback. You started for a couple years and everything. I believe maybe 3 years under head coach Jack Phillips. So how things was it over there at Carver, especially being the man as the starting quarterback?
Man, it was great, man. I actually came in. I only started 2 years at quarterback. I actually came in. I was the cornerback my sophomore year under Coach Reese. My freshman and sophomore year, I played for Coach Reese.
Wow.
And going into my junior year, the quarterback got hurt in the summer. And one of my park ball coaches told him that I could play quarterback. And he was also one of the coaches on Carver Junior High because I played quarterback on the junior high team. But when I made it to the senior high, I was playing DB. And when the quarterback went down, I got in, and that was it. And I stood at quarterback throughout.
Now how it was, and I didn't realize that till you said it, and I didn't realize Coach Reese was also your coach as well. How it was with the transition going from Coach Reese leaving Carver to go to Washington Marion and for Coach Phillips to step in as your head coach?
Man, it was smooth, man, because Coach Phillips was already on that staff. He was the wide receiver coach on that staff already. He'd been with Coach Reese for years. So it was similar, but the game planning and the structure of it was a little different because Coach Reese was more pro-style offense. Coach Jack Phillip introduced the spread to New Orleans, man, because we were the first one to start running the 4-5 wide receivers every down. So that was the thing, man. We didn't have the personnel that Coach Reese had. Coach Reese always had the big linemen. And then by the time our time came, we didn't have those big guys anymore. We had a lot of speed. And Coach Jack, he catered to our strengths.
Absolutely. And then looking at your games, I don't know, you won a lot of good games, but the one game to me that stood out, and it's always the coming out party for you, Lynarise, was against Rummel. And I have never seen a Rummel team get sliced up against a Orleans Parish school like Carver did and like you did. Can you tell us about that day? And do you think that game was probably maybe one of your best games of your career?
Most definitely, man. I'll never forget that game. That game meant so much to us. It had a double-head sword to it. First of all, they smashed us the year before. They beat us 49-14 with Michael Birch that year. Second of all, what made it even more special that we had Cedric Favorite. I don't know if you guys remember him. He played linebacker for us at Carver, and he played offensive guard too. He was a 4-year starter for Coach Reese. He got his leg amputated. We was in camp that summer, and he hurt his leg, and they wound up having to amputate his leg. And that was the first time Cedric came back that we saw him after the surgery. He came to the game on the field with us, and that was special to us, man. And that was one of the most special games that I ever played in my life because it meant so much to me because that was our brother and he was back with us.
Wow. And I know that game you had about close to 400 yards of offense and over 4 touchdowns. And I mean, I know that was a big historic win for Carver, maybe one of many, not just in your career, but one of many at Carver. Because remember, years later, Carver went up to West Monroe and got the win up there after being kind of paid a little bit of money to come up and play, but they went up there and got the ultimate dub. Besides getting money from the school from the gate, getting the win up there.
Right, that was huge for that team. Like they went up there and beat West Monroe at West Monroe. Man, that was huge, and it was huge for us also because Rummel was number one in the state at the time, and all 5'8" in all classes they was number one. So that was major in our during that time, man, because we beat Rummel and we beat Jesuit that same year. Both of them was Rummel was 3 and Jesuit. I'm gonna say Rummel was 1 and Jesuit was 3 that year. So we did some big things that year, man. Then those guys followed up behind and went to West Monroe and got that big win like that.
And you was just hoping, the year I think you went as far as the quarterfinals, right? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we lost to Curtis. 28-21, man. Came down to the wire. That was a heartbreaker, man. We fought, we came up a little short and they wound up winning it all. But yeah, it was tough.
So what does Coach Reese and Coach Phillips meant so much to you as a player at Carver?
Man, they meant everything to me, man. Coach Reese, Coach Phillip, man, they was father figures to me, man. They was big on discipline. They was big on holding you accountable for doing the right things, and they just was all around good men, man. And I thank them, man, because I know without them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. As far as as a man, not even a coach. You know what I mean? Like as a man, and just a father. So I think they rubbed off on me a good way, and I'm just trying to give back to those kids the way that they gave back to me.
Now going forward, you go from Carver and you go to Tulane University. Now, how it was signing that letter of intent and playing for the Green Wave and making a little bit of a transition, but it was more comfortable for you that you didn't go to Tulane to play quarterback, but the experience in the secondary helped you tremendously going into the next level.
Yes, it was a smooth transition for me because I always played both sides of the ball. In junior high, I played quarterback and cornerback, and when I got to senior high, I did the same thing as well. My senior year was really the only year I really didn't play DB. It's only on certain games. I think like 2 games my senior year I played DB when I had to, but it was a smooth transition for me, man. Because I'm a DB, and I loved it. I had fun, man. I got to go with Jerry and Noel and all those guys, man. They took me under their wing when I first made it to Tulane. It made the transition very easy for me, and we just had a blast.
Wow. Now I'm gonna ask you. Now I'm gonna ask you this right quick, and I'm gonna let Jared take over with the questions. How things are going with your son? Your son did very, very well when he went to Carver and tried to lay down a foundation that you had, but he tried to create his own foundation and everything. And it seemed like he really tried to follow your footsteps more than anything else. So how things are going with Lynarise Jr.?
Man, it's going pretty good, man. He tried to, he did it. He did his thing, man. He was more of a wide receiver. I didn't get a chance to play wide receiver that much. I played a little bit, but he was a full-time wide receiver, return guy. He played a little DB too. He also got a chance to play DB for Carver on certain games, also, man. But that was an exciting time, man. Being able to see my son play and go through, go to the school that I went to and continue the legacy, man. It was great. It was great times.
Go ahead, Jared.
Coach Elpheage, as VK mentioned, you played at Carver, you played at Tulane. You also played with the Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Tampa Bay Storm, which was in the Arena Football League. My question to you is, why did you want to become a football coach after your playing days?
Man, actually, I really never had any aspirations of being a coach, to be honest with you, man. I was on a rail park with my son. He started playing. So I was around just being a dad. I was just, watching practice, just watching, helping where I could help, carrying stuff, helping them out with the water sometimes when they needed it. And a couple of those guys, Coach Derek and Coach Wimp, they knew me, and they asked me to help with this and help with that, my opinion on this, my opinion on that, and it just wound up happening, man. And they told me I might as well just help out, and I started helping out, and I fell in love with it. It was just I never thought I would have the patience for it, but man, I'm glad it happened.
It was like a hidden passion that you found.
Right, it was definitely a hidden passion. I didn't know I didn't have any plans for it, but I wouldn't trade it in for anything now.
Now, it's funny you say that because you were the offensive coordinator at Carver, and then you became the next head coach at John F. Kennedy. What was it about John F. Kennedy that intrigued you to want to become their next head coach?
Man, the tradition of the school, man. John F. Kennedy was a popular school before the storm. They just got the name back because it was Lake area. So I just thought it'd be a good place for me, a good fit for me. They just changed charters, so it was a fresh start. We all came in together. So I just thought it would be a good opportunity for me. And I know they had some good players on their team because we played them before they was in the same district with us.
Right.
So I just thought it was a good opportunity, man. I was nervous about it at first because I was leaving on my son's senior year, and that was kind of tough for me. That was the only thing that really had me thinking twice about it. But I had a conversation with him, and he was okay with it. He gave me his blessings, so I just went for it, man.
Most definitely. Now, when coaches take over a new program, they tend to set in their own philosophies and try to change the culture. How were you able to change the culture at John F. Kennedy?
Man, I think it was collective, with me, the coaches and the players just buying into what I was trying to do. I came in and I just let them kids know, man, I'm here, man. This is your house. I'm asking you to welcome me. You've been here. Those seniors who was there, y'all built this foundation. I'm just asking you guys to give me a chance and welcome me in and see how I do things, and they was real receptive of that. And I think that's why it worked. That first class was special, man. We only had 23 guys. My first day at practice, we had 11 kids, and we just kept at it, man. And those guys brought in, those seniors, man, they'll be special to me forever, man. They set the tone. It's tough with 23 kids, and we still went 6-2 that year and made the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. And that's a testament to those kids, man. They stuck with it. They brought into what we was doing, and they went all out, man. And I forever have a special place in my heart for that group.
Definitely. Now, you've guided Kennedy to the playoffs ever since you've been there. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So describe how your team have been able to build off of that experience of getting to the playoffs.
Man, it's the new standard. It's the new standard. That, like I said, that first group set it, and now is no going backwards. So that's the new standards of playoffs. Now we're trying to reach more. It's more than just making the playoffs. Now we're trying to make a run and go all the way. So that first team set the foundation, and these younger guys understand what the standard is here at John F. Kennedy now. So they have something to live up to.
With that being said, this season, y'all have made a lot of noise. You started off 3-0, and then a loss to Helen Cox, and now you guys are on another winning streak, another 3-game winning streak. With that being said, with that loss to Helen Cox, how were you, as the head coach, able to keep your team motivated and encouraged to get over that loss and to continue another winning streak?
Man, it's funny you said. I'm glad you asked that question. It really wasn't me, to be honest with you. It was the loss. I think the loss, it hurts, and it's nothing that you never want. But I think that might have been the best thing that happened to us because my personal opinion, I think we started getting too comfortable. After we won, after we beat Saint Amant, we came back. We was getting too comfortable. We didn't have a good week of practice. Um, you know, different players was getting in trouble. They just, I feel they got the big head because we won, and we just it's just in the process of learning how to win. So I think once that loss came, it humbled us. Humble pie always tastes very well. So I think
Yeah.
that kind of set them straight, and then they got that taste, and I don't think they want it anymore. So that's how I would think. We just trying to work on us and keep chopping wood and keep getting better.
Okay. With that being said, because like you said earlier, y'all went to the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. I think back in 2020. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I want to say it's been a very, very long time since John F. Kennedy has won a district championship. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. I don't want to look too far ahead, but you guys control your own destiny to winning your district. What would winning a district championship mean for John F. Kennedy High School, the community, the alumni of John F. Kennedy, your team, and your coaching staff? What would that mean?
Man, I think it'll be huge, man. Especially for the alumni and the community, they deserve that. They deserve that, man. And we trying to give it to them. Though they set the precedent. They don't want made Kennedy the name. It holds weight in the city, and we just trying to live up to it. So I think it'll be huge for us as a program, as a football program. To let them know that we're winning. The district championship. That's our goal. That's the first goal we set for the year. And if for us to reach that'll be great for us to reach our first goal that we set out to reach.
Now, looking at things more than anything else, before I ask you about a couple of your best players and everything, um, a lot of things is on the line. Not just district championship. Looking at the power rankings this week, you have cracked now the top four. You're number 4 in the power rankings, and you look at 2 of the 3. You look at 1, 2, and 3 is Turlins Catholic, De La Salle, St. Thomas More. Now the thing is, Turlins Catholic and St. Thomas More will be facing each other coming up. So meaning somebody's going to get knocked off. So there's a possibility Kennedy might crack that top 3. What you can say about that if you guys win the rest of the games this season, including that district championship?
Man, if that happened, it'll be great. We just focusing on winning this game this week. You know what I mean? Want to know this week. If it happens, if we take care of our business, all the rest of that will take care of itself. Um, so we just not looking too far ahead, but we know we'll be comfortable. We'll be playing at home in the first round. Our first playoff game, so that'll be great. But you're just trying to work on us right now, and you know, a lot of stuff still gotta happen in these next 3 weeks. Like you said, those teams will be playing each other, and we'll be playing other teams, and it'll move around. But all we can do is control what we control, and take care of each opponent every week.
Do you think that Division 2 is going to be tough as nails? Because I thought Division 1 is going to be something, but I think this Division 2 and Select, it's very loaded as well.
Yes, I agree. Definitely. I think it's going to be something serious. Division 1 is tough, but I think Division 2 is also tough, man. You have a lot, like you just named the schools: Turner Catholic, Lafayette Christian, De La Salle, St. Thomas More. Um, you have the Booker T's, all
Madison
these
Prep,
schools, Madison Prep. You have all these schools, man. It's going to be war. It's going to be war in Division 2 also.
absolutely. Now I want to ask you about your 2 seniors, and not just I want to ask you about your senior class, but those 2 seniors that your squad this year. Quarterback Chris Armstrong, if I'm right,
Yes.
and also Deshaun Baptiste, that are known as the Reaper. How much that these 2 have meant to your team, especially how they not just played on the field, but how they have led this program.
Man, everything, man. Those guys, Deshaun been here since day one, man. When I got here, Deshaun was here. He been through it all, you know, and he's loving it right now. He went through the process. He trusts the process, and he's loving it, and he's rubbing off on the other guys. He's a humble kid. He's a great leader. He don't say much, but he leads by example. Chris, Chris the same way, man. Chris humble. Chris come in and work every day. Don't miss any practices. Like I said, he was sick last week. He didn't practice at all. He came in on a walkthrough, um, but he came in and that brought the whole team morale up when he showed up because that's how much he means to us. Everybody was excited and they felt comfortable again when he showed up Wednesday. So, man, those two kids, man, they're great leaders. They're not hoorah guys, but they get the job done.
And it seemed like they really embrace this thing and they embrace you so much. Like last week I came for the Livingston game and wow, I mean, it was great to meet you in person, meet the coaches there.
Amen.
It seems like it's a big program. Livingston was very classy themselves as well. But it seems like y'all players, as soon as they seen me, they shook my hand, a lot of class and everything, because I know I'm on another program. But at the same time, I bring a lot of perspective, but I really, really appreciate it because it seems like Kennedy is trying to take things to another level.
Oh, most definitely, man. We just trying to come up, man, and just let everybody know that we're a good program, man. And we just want to be in that number. When you think of sending your kid to a good program, we just want our name to pop up. Let you know your kid will be in good hands, man. We're good coaches, good school, good academics, good people, man. Like we just care about kids, and we trying to make sure that we could get them in the best situation as possible. So that's all we doing, just trying to build a brand and build our program up, so they can speak well about us like the Car and the Eastons.
Definitely. Coach, in your opinion, what are some of the best strengths and weaknesses of being a head coach?
Man, the best strengths and I think there's one thing is kind of like both, right? Is when you care about the kids so much, man, you never want to let go. You never want to let go. Whether the right or the wrong, you never want to let go. You never want to give up on a kid. And that sometimes that be the hardest part, because you have some situations where you have to let go. And that's the best thing about it when you see it turn around and go the right way. That's the joy of it. And then when it don't go the right way, that's the hardest part because you try everything in your strength and your power to help those kids and help them win. So I think that in itself is just coaching in a nutshell for me as far as the good and the bad. Because it's all about saving kids, man. It's all about getting productive citizens in society after they leave you. You know what I mean? Like the football part will take care of itself, but if you can help them to be good citizens and good people, good men, then I think you win.
They're a bunch of
What
great.
aspects of football do you get most excited for?
Man, the teaching, like getting them to understand and learning football. When they learn, they get excited about it, and when they know, you could tell when they know. So I think that is the most part is what I get excited about the most. I love to teach. I love to give the knowledge that I learned. I love to pass it on, man, and see it help them grow. So the teaching is the biggest thing for me.
So before we get you out of here, and it's funny because you pretty much answered the last question that I have. And with me being a Taekwondo instructor, and I have 33 world championships that have been won from my students, which is great. But my main goal is to see these kids become adults and be productive citizens. That's my main goal, that they be able to survive in the real world, be great mothers, be great fathers. And from what you just answered, that's the same thing you want from your kids. Yeah, you want to get your championship. Yeah, you might want to play for a state championship and win, but at the same time, you want the best for your kids.
Correct, and I think that's the overall goal. I mean, that's where you win. When you can see those kids down the line, they doing well, have families, and and they remember you, man. And you had a part in that, and that's the gratification that I get, and that you get, and all of us who touch kids' lives. So that's always the win. That's the end goal. All the other stuff is bonus. If you could get a championship out the deal, that's just the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Because it's tough, man. It's tough when that
Yeah.
real world hits you. It's they don't take no prisoners. When the real world comes, it's gonna come full force.
I gotta ask you this before we get out. Two things. One, is there a possibility? And I know I'll probably ask you this, and I know I gotta ask you this live here. Is it good that you're not playing your alma mater right now in this regular season? Because there's a possibility that you might have to face them in the playoffs because you're on the same division. Because I know you and Coach Addison has history, and y'all go way, way back, and he's also a Carver alumnus. But also the other question is, do you think your team is good enough and ready for the challenge to try to have a chance for John F. Kennedy to not just win a first-round playoff game, but to have a chance of hopefully getting a shot at the state title?
Yes, it's a strong possibility that we could play Carver, man. And I think it was good because I played them the first 2 years. We played against each other, and that was crazy playing against my son. I coached him for 3 years, and played against him this last year, going against my friends. Me and Byron were coaching together for 10 years. It was tough, but at the end of the day, it's always competitive. For not to play them in a regular season was different, but it's a strong possibility that we may see each other in the playoffs. And if it happens, it happens. If it don't, maybe we can see each other in the championship. So that'll be even better. That'll be a bigger story. So to answer your second question, VK, I truly believe that we have the team and the capability to make a run for the Dome. I really do. That's just my honest opinion. I mean, I may be biased, but I know how we working. I know the work that we putting in, and I know the hunger that the kids have and the coaches have, and I think we definitely have a chance to make a run.
I'm like this, man. If you guys can do it, all I'm gonna tell you is this. I covered something similar to this, and that was the East Jefferson State Championship team. Nick Formaggio, Coach Saul, shout out to him. He told me before that first round game, and he knew that had to get over the hump against 35. He said, if we get by this first round, this run is going to be fun. So that's what it was, and it turned out to be bigger than it was after they won that first round game. But I wish y'all the best, and I hope you guys, and I think y'all prepared and ready, but we'll see down the line.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, VK.
No problem.
Coach Elpheage, I want to wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season and for your continued success on your coaching career. I wish you the best. I am happy for the progress that you have made at Kennedy, and I just wish you keep it going, my brother. I am so proud of you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me on. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's a great platform, and you guys are doing a great job on it. So appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach,
No
and maybe
problem.
have you back on in the future.
Yes, sir. No problem. Just let me know.
Definitely. Thank you, Coach Elpheage.
All right, guys.
All right, everyone. That was Coach Elpheage, and let's talk about these Kennedy Cougars for a second, my man. 6-1. Like I said, they are in control of their own destiny to become district champions. VK, you got to see them in person last week. Give us your thoughts about this Kennedy team.
I gotta say this: they're good as advertised. They're good as advertised. They play very good defense. Deshaun Baptiste. I'm getting old, bro. Sean Baptiste. To me, if he keeps going the way he's going, he's gonna be the New Orleans Defensive Player of the Year. And right now, to me, he's up there to being the Defensive Player of the Year in New Orleans. He's really, really that good. He's stepping up in big games. His whole unit is really good. The offensive side, Chris Armstrong, and I guess big shout out to Cole on 1008. He says Chris Armstrong and the toys because they are nothing nice. Because I tell you, Kennedy has the most underrated receiving core in the city. They're really, really good all around. And as long as Armstrong gets time in the pocket, he can find people and he can run it as well. But also the special teams is really good as well too. So, they got a good all-around team, and I think that tough schedules really helped them. They've been in a lot of game situations and scenarios. I think it's going to help them down the line, but they got to prepare because that Division II is going to be really tough. But if they crack the top three, they could maybe have some favorable matchups and maybe some things on the draw. So we will see. But as way it's looking, they could crack their top three because Turling's Catholic will be going against St. Thomas More soon. So plain and simple, one of them is going to be knocked off.
So before we move on, number one, you heard Coach Elpheage say, talk about playing a first round game at home. Well, if they finish in the top 8, they get a bye in the first round. They have a second round game at home. Number two, before we move on to our next topic, you just talked about Deshaun Baptiste. He does not have a lot of offers at all, which is amazing. The guy is 6'3", 240, and is just a beast at the defensive end. Why is he not getting looked at?
I don't know. I don't know why, but here's the other thing, and let me drop this a little dime on you. Meeting his family and talking to a lot of the Kennedy officials and stuff like that, Deshaun Baptiste has a 4.0 grade point average.
Yes, he does.
And also is up for a possible valedictorian at Kennedy. So right now, it's amazing how he's not being looked at. I think he's being looked at for a couple of academic scholarships outside of athletics. So this is big for Deshaun and his character. A lot of people said off the field, he's amazing. I'm talking about amazing all-around person. It kind of reminds you a little bit, and some people might hate to say the name, Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, total character person, besides him being a monster on the field. So that is big for Deshaun. I think the one school that's really looking at him, and right now the number one school that is recruiting him is Southeast Louisiana. They're looking at him pretty, pretty hard. So that could be a big, huge possibility. And I think if he goes to Southeastern, he will kill it out there in Hammond.
Definitely. All right, everyone. We're going to bring in our next guest. This guy here, I've known him since I was a freshman at Archbishop Shaw on the freshman basketball team. He was the 8th grade basketball coach. He used to scrimmage us freshman teams, and I would do a little something on him. But, but now he's come out of retirement. If y'all don't know, when he was coach at McMain, he was the Metro Schools Coach of the Year. And now he's back coaching the Haynes Girls Basketball team. Everyone, our friend, because VK knows him as well. He used to call games with VK. Our friend, Coach Everette Bates. What's going on, Coach?
What up, fellas, man? How y'all doing, man? It's about time y'all had me on here, man. I keep telling you, VK. Keep telling you, JB. Me and VK used to do it on the airways, man. Been telling you for
man, Everett. I appreciate you being on, bro. I miss you like crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'll tell you one thing. All I'm going to tell you is this. Welcome to the show. And also, welcome back to the coaching stage, man. I am so happy for you because we have talked about this. We have conversated about this. And you always said, I don't know if I'm going to scratch that itch yet. I still have that itch to coach, but I don't know when. But by the grace of God, he opened the door for you to get back in it. And then my first question to you is, how do you feel of being back coaching again in basketball, the game you love?
Well, so far so good. I've only been the coach for about maybe 4 weeks now, and I gotta admit, man, I've been out of the game for 7 years, so it's been a little bit of I'm not gonna say a learning curve, but kind of getting used to getting into the swing of things again. Um, it's a slow process for me right now because I mean, I didn't have a summer. I didn't have a summer with the girls or anything like that, But I'm pleased with where we are right now. I'm happy that I am back in coaching. I gotta admit, I didn't think I would be back in coaching. I thought I was pretty much done, but things kind of just lined up. The stars kind of just lined up in order for it to happen.
You say the stars lined up. What actually happened to get you back into coaching?
Well, well, I was already there, and I was already there as the dean of student services. So the former coach, Coach Benora, he just kind of abruptly resigned. We have no idea why, but I wished him the best of luck. And the thing about it was that I was basically, conversating with my principal to try to help them to start interviews and finding a coach. And the thing about it is that a lot of people there, they knew I was a referee. I've been a high school referee for the past 7 years. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them knew I was an official already, and people just started coming up to me talking about, I think you'd be a good fit for this job, and I'm walking around at work like, oh, okay, yeah. But more and more people just started coming up to me and asking me, was I interested in the job? And I had never coached girls before. My experience has always been with on the boys sector, and then 1 year in men's at Xavier. So I had never had any experience with girls. I was kind of concerned about my delivery, but I talked to a couple of my closest friends, and it was just like, basketball is basketball. So so once they offered it to me, I took it, and you know, I'm kind of excited about the opportunity.
Wow, and that's unbelievable right there, Coach Bates. I mean, I, you're not the only one that's getting back into it. I'm. They asked me to be an assistant coach at my middle school,
Okay.
so I'm stepping in again and coaching myself to get back to learning the game, and also to help these kids out and everything else. What your advice you would have for me, you know, trying to reach these kids out, especially at a school when it's kind of rough a bit, especially dealing with certain kids.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is that VK. One thing I'm gonna tell you is these kids are definitely built different now than from when I coached. Even 7 years ago, these kids are different. The first thing I'm gonna tell you is that you're gonna have a lot of flexibility. It's especially as a new coach coming in, man, because you don't want to you want to be firm, but you want to be fair, you know. And the thing about it is that you dealing with kids that are coming from all different types of backgrounds and stuff, and you're gonna have to have some patience and have some time with those kids, getting them to buy into what you want them to do. And that's what I'm trying to do at Haynes right now, because I have a bunch of kids that are in everything. Haynes is a school where kids are in everything. Right now, I could tell you I haven't been able to practice like I want to because I got girls playing volleyball. I got girls running cross country. I got girls on the swimming team right now. I got girls um in competition cheer that play basketball.
Wow.
So
Wow.
so for me, I had to realize, and I caught myself because I was like, "Well, if they don't come, I'm gonna just find somebody else." But I had to catch myself and realize that I'm just coming in, so I need to have a little bit of flexibility. I don't need to run anybody off right now. So I've been flexible with those girls because I already knew they were in other activities, and I just told them I'll wait. I'll just wait on you to come, and when you come, we'll learn how to play some basketball.
And you're absolutely right about that. in my situation, like I said, we're dealing with a different kind of monster because, like you said, different kind of kids. We're trying to build a character team.
Mhm.
Meaning you're gonna have to be right all the way, not just with grades, but also
Mhm.
respecting the school if you're going to represent.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Big. Set your rules. Now hold them accountable. Set your rules. Hold them accountable. Um, I'm also a believer of giving kids. Kids are gonna mess up, man. They're gonna make mistakes. You know. That's a thing I want to say about flexibility because I can remember when I was at Bell Chase when I was 25 years old. A kid. I mean, I kicked some kids off the team that now at 45, I'm like, you know what? I should have just ran them and put them back on the team instead of kicking them off. So have have your rules, but have some flexibility. You know, I mean, make a pay a penalty, but I'm a little different as far as kicking kids off the team now. If they make a mistake.
Cool deal. We thank y'all for tuning in. We have Coach Everette Bates with us. He's going to be with us for the rest of the show. VK and Coach Everette Bates. Let's move on to the New Orleans Saints. Saints lose to the
You
Cincinnati
almost spit my
Bengals.
water up. Lord, have mercy.
Saints lose to the Bengals 30-26. Coach Bates. Now, Coach Bates never goes on live on
You know I went
Facebook.
live. I had
He
to.
went live, so
I had to.
for him to go live, it had to be rough. Coach Bates, the floor is yours right now on the New Orleans Saints.
Man, listen, I'm speaking as a fan, a season ticket holder, everything, man. And the thing about it is, it's just like I said on Facebook, man. You know, I just wonder what they're doing for 10 hours a day in a facility because, you know, they have an identity problem. They can't figure out what type of team they are right now, you know. And that's okay. Actually, that's okay with a new coach coming in. However, though, like I said before, I just think that if you do things to put you create situations for your players to be successful or to have a chance to be successful, you know, you'll have a better chance at winning the game. I mean, Sunday, we just didn't know. We didn't know what they were doing. There. One thing I can tell you is that with Pete Carmichael, and I'm not a football coach, but if I'm the season ticket holder, if I can call out what you're doing, looking at your formations, that's a problem. That is a problem. I should not be able to tell what you're doing, and I'm not watching no film. I'm not scouting you or anything like that. But if I can predict what you're doing or what you're going to do, what you think the man is that's been spending 90 hours a week is, is doing, So he just has to. I just think he has to get a little bit more creative, man. You know, it's tough watching him right now. That's all I could really say. It's tough watching him. I'm still gonna stay behind him. We'll see what happens when Jameis comes back. Just kind of go from there.
VK.
So Everett, look like you in a man cave right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
I had to, man. It's the only quiet place in my house right now, bro.
okay,
That's the only.
okay. It looks
So
straight. I'm gonna have to, if you staying in the same spot, right?
yeah,
See, I'm
I'm
so I'm about to come by. I'm about to come holler at you
yeah.
sometime soon because I didn't even know that, but it's all cool. But
Wait,
but
wait. No, no. I am in a new house, bro. I am. You haven't. Yeah, you used to come to my house in the east. I'm in Algiers now.
you
I'm
back in
in
the West
Algiers.
Bank, huh? Okay,
I'm in Algiers. Yeah, I'm in
okay.
Algiers. Yep.
We gonna talk. But
Okay.
but the Saints, and welcome back to the West Bank. For the Saints, to me, and I agree with Everett, and I completely understand where he's coming from. But what I seen on Sunday, it was just all around like unbelievable because to me it's the fact that bottom line is regardless of the coaches, regardless of the players, regardless of what position, you got to play 4 quarters of football. You have to play 4 quarters. Plain and simple. When you up 20 something, when you're having a good start, you're running the ball. Okay, good. Can we keep it going for the rest of the game? Can we keep it going? Can we stop with this conservative? Like we're up. No, go for the throat.
Got to
Go
take
for
your
the
shots.
throat.
You got to take your shots.
The great example I can say, and I talked to somebody about this. Why did the Saints go look at the Rummel St. Aug game on Saturday? What St. Aug did on one drive after Rummel cut it to 5. St. Aug went on a long drive, got some big first downs, scored a touchdown, extended the lead. All of a sudden, kicked the square, and Rummel couldn't handle the ball. St. Aug gets it, one play, boom, touchdown, game over. I mean, you got to put the foot on the throat. You have to put the foot on the throat. Don't give a team life. When you continue to give a team life, they gain confidence. And that's what happens. You don't want Joe Burrow with the ball. Even with the Saints had time on the clock. I mean, even the last play. And me and Jared talked about this. I said it was a poor effort by Marcus Callaway. Why you didn't go for the ball? Just go for the ball. You looking for the flag. Don't look for no flag. Go hard and maybe you'll get the flag. He didn't go get it. Poor effort. All around is that bad. Pete Carmichael, yes, he's a terrible play caller. Dennis Allen, it's not working right now. I'm trying to give him grace and patience. Right now, it's not working. I'm like this. Gail Benson is going to pull the trigger soon. And to me, also, who needs to be on notice, and I've been saying this for a long time. I'm sorry. Mickey Loomis need to be on notice.
Ooh.
He needs to be on notice. He's been won some time in GM for the last 11 years. Has messed up deals. Has not did what he had to do. And to me, and I'm going to say it again, I don't care if he's out of position or not. If the person makes plays, you don't trade your playmaker. Look what C.J. Gardner-Johnson is doing in Philly. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to keep saying it. The Saints miss him because that's your playmaker, and he's not here. I'm telling you, there's no no's you make. You don't do that. I don't care how much money. If there's too many good teams make stuff work for players, why can't the Saints do it? And I'm tired of that. They should have made this work some way, somehow. Because he brings it, he might get, no, let me tell you something. He brings intensity to the team. And when players are needed, he makes the play. It's too much inconsistency. When CJ's out there, he makes plays regardless of his intensity. And look how much the impact Philly is. And Philly right now having the best record in the NFL.
Well, I'm going to say this. I was very excited for this season. Very excited. Everything looked great. I wasn't too big on the Tyrann Matthew signing. I was not. I really haven't been someone that's been impressed with Tyrann as a tackler and as a cover safety. Just my opinion. But with Jarvis and Mike coming back and Olave, I was very excited. I was excited also that they did keep most of the coaching staff who were with Sean Payton. Here we are 6 games in, and I just don't know who we are. Are we a passing team? Are we a running team? What are we? We are too predictable on offense, like Coach Bates says. I know when it's a running play. I know when it's a passing play. It's too predictable. No creativity. And with the game on Sunday, when Jamar Chase scored his first touchdown, I sat there and said, now we have to double Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow is going to look for him. And when they get the ball back, Joe Burrow eyed down Jamar Chase. Bradley Roby misses a tackle. Tyrann, horrible angle. And that pretty much was it. pretty much was it. I said then, game over. We are not coming back and beat the Bengals. And come this Thursday, I don't feel good about it either. I mean, the Cardinals not playing their best ball, but guess what? DeAndre Hopkins is back. They went and got what's his name from California? Not California, Carolina.
Oh, you talking about the receiver that was released?
Yes, Robbie Anderson.
Oh,
I don't feel good about the Saints right now. They gotta come together and figure out what's the problem and fix it. And the only good news is they are still just one game behind in the division. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Coach Bates, anything you want to add on?
Yeah. Okay. So going back, the first thing I want to say is that, the NFL, with all these new rules that we have right now, where you can't, you could barely touch the quarterback, you could barely touch a wide receiver, the NFL is designed to score points, man.
That's right.
You really, in order to be successful, you really have to score points in this league right now. And that's one of the Saints' problem is being consistent and scoring points. We can score some, from time to time we might score some in the beginning, but as it turns or as the game progresses, our offense kind of, sputters out, and it's a scoring league right now, so they have to find a way to stay consistent offensively. Defensively, I'm gonna tell y'all two things. I'm gonna tell y'all what I saw in the last two games. Um, every opponent that the Saints play right now, if you watch closely, they're taking their best receiver and they're moving him all over the place. Against Seattle, they lined Metcalf in the slot, they lined him on the outside. He went in motion a couple of times. Last game, they did the same thing with Jamar Chase. The thing about what Dennis Allen is, and I don't know if he needs to change his philosophy, when those receivers move, if Metcalf, the cornerbacks don't move. So what happens is if Metcalf go to roll beside, he just go to roll beside, and it's a mismatch.
Yeah.
So Lattimore doesn't go with him when he comes out, Lattimore stays on his side, Roby stays on his side, and I'm not saying that's bad because I'm not a defensive coach, but other teams have been exploiting us with that, So that's one of the major concerns I see. You got Hopkins coming back. You said they traded for Robbie Anderson, right? Did you say
The
that?
Cardinals, yes.
Okay. He's good. I don't expect him to be that effective in the short amount of practice time. But he gonna be a dog then. I don't know if he's gonna be a dog this game. But the rest of them, just watch the game. If a receiver is hot against the Saints, they're gonna move him everywhere. Inside, outside, and we don't adjust. When Jamar Chase cut the touchdown, he was in the slot.
Yeah.
He was in the slot. There was no adjustment whatsoever. So I don't know.
Yeah. We will see Thursday night what happens with the Saints against the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, it looks like Chris Olave will be back to play. We don't know about Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry yet. And also, we don't know about Marshawn Lattimore. So we will see what happens. Now, I was on a flight home from Pittsburgh trying to watch the LSU game, and the Wi-Fi on the plane went out. All I know is LSU won. I assume you two guys saw it. I'll let you guys talk about it. VK, you go first.
LSU, they played much, much better. Probably played their best game of the season against Florida. And they, kind of a slow start early, but they put the pedal to the metal and they really outplayed the Florida Gators on Saturday. And Jaden Daniels probably played his best game of the year so far. So big ups to LSU as they're going forward, as they're trying to continue to. But right now it's a rebuild, and it's taking a little time for what it is, But big ups going to LSU with a big victory. Florida is still young and still trying to figure things out. But Big ups to LSU. They finally put a total game together and got a job done.
Coach Bates.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I mean, when you got, Jaden Daniels was what 23 for 32 for 349, 3 touchdowns, man. I mean, he was on fire. Probably his best game of the season. The running game was going well. Everything just clicked for that particular game. And I still don't like the fact that they gave up 35 points. But they were fortunate to be able to continue scoring. So.
But it's tough to go against Anthony Richardson, though. I mean,
Right.
It is.
he's a real tough quarterback. Despite and I give him a lot. I give him a lot of props, even though Florida's up and down. He's still playing really good as the starter for the Gators.
All right.
Indeed.
Now, before we get into week 8 of our high school football predictions, we always give a thought about something we saw.
Before
in
we
week
get to
7.
that, I'm sorry.
What, man? What? Go ahead.
What you mean what? You
Go
can't
ahead.
forget about last week, the shot I put up. You know what I'm saying? Big props going to the Tennessee Volunteers with the big upset last week against the Alabama Crimson Tide. And like I said,
They're coming.
is Tennessee Georgia ready? They're Georgia ready. But they do have a not easy road before they go to Athens. They have to play Tennessee Martin, which they should win. But Kentucky comes right before them up at home, which is not going to be easy. Kentucky
Trap game.
could be a trap game, and you're right. So the Georgia game is going to be huge. If they can finish, and if they finish those two and they beat Georgia, Tennessee is your national championship contender right now. They'll be a national championship contender to beat Georgia. But then right now, Hinton Hooker is your Heisman Trophy candidate. He's the leading Heisman Trophy candidate right now.
Okay.
I got no disagreements with that. I think it's
Oh, you say okay, Jerry. You know I'm right on this.
Hmm.
Over
Hey,
500 on Bama, bro. Come on, man.
I didn't say you were wrong on this, but it's so bad because I've said for years when it comes to Alabama that their DBs is their weakest link, and they played so soft the whole game. It was just unbelievable. Like, what adjustments were they going to make? And they really didn't make any. And the crazy part about it, they almost still won that game.
Right. And then, but here's the thing. I said the return to glory thing right last week. And somebody said on Saturday, like, why they couldn't play like this with Pruitt than with Heupel. And I said, Heupel maintained a program at UCF. That's a difference between him and somebody who don't have experience as a head coach.
Not only did Heupel maintain a program, but Heupel is a creative and innovative offensive mind.
Yes, and also he did something that other coaches don't do. And I hate to say it, he put the nuts on the table. And I hate to say it like that, put nuts on the table and went for it and said, I'm going for the win. Let me get 2 passes down. If we get in a position, we win in the game. We missed the field goal. Oh, well, we go to overtime. At least I tried. Certain coaches don't do that. They keep on going to overtime, think they win it. Go for the win. Thank you, Josh Heupel.
Well, he should have done it because they couldn't cover. They could cover the whole game. Why not?
Exactly.
And they did it in 18 seconds. 18 seconds left in the game.
And that's guts because they was behind the 50. And that's guts because they said, you know what? If I could get 2 passes down that field with 2 timeouts, we're gonna win the game. And that's what he did. And I love it. I want more coaches to do that. In the college game, all levels, college, NFL, high school. If you have the guts to put it on the line, put it on the table, and go for it, I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Even if you don't get it, you at least tried.
All
I
right.
don't disagree with him whatsoever.
Now you can move on, Jad. I wanted to get that in. I gave you props
Hey,
on your upset pick. You couldn't give me mine. That's all right. We good.
Props. I didn't know you wanted to do it right then and there. That's cool though. You got
I know because we about to get into high school anyway. So go ahead.
all right. So from week 7, I'm going to go first. And I said last week, if this team was to win, we got to talk about this team. ML King Charter with a 22-6 victory over Helen Cox. It is time to give them some recognition. 6-1. We both picked Helen Cox to beat them. We both were wrong. Yo, watch out for ML King. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, VK. What you got?
Well, what I got right here. I mean, all this week, man, it was homecoming week. A lot of blowouts, man. A lot of blowouts. Big time victories. The one standout victory I'm definitely gonna give props to is the John Curtis Patriots. They have been playing much, much better, and also the Shaw Eagles with the huge victory. 2 huge victories for these 2 programs.
yeah,
Shaw
man.
getting the big win
Yeah.
at Bell Chase. And what about Curtis? I've been saying that John Curtis has been playing much, much better. They've been playing better since they lost to Zachary, and they did it again. They won on the road at Arcadiana. That is huge. And I tell you one thing for Curtis, they got to prepare for St. Aul coming up Saturday. So that's going to be interesting in itself. And to me, Curtis will be a solid challenger for the Edna Carr Cougars at the end of the season. It is going to be an interesting matchup. And, some people say Carr should win easy, but let me tell you something. JT Curtis in his history has not lost consecutive games to consecutive opponents, not too many times. So I'm telling you now, JT is preparing them, and I think St. Aug needs to be ready because JT is going to have them ready for Saturday. It's going to be an interesting ball game. But that's what I have standing out. And big shout out to the St. Augustine class of 97. We had a great turnout on Saturday for our homecoming and our class reunion. I know y'all seen some of the pictures on Facebook. Y'all my brothers for life. And to Nick Foster and for athletic director Ryan Sims, who's the class of 97. We appreciate you embracing us. Love y'all, brothers. Thank y'all so much.
Coach Bates.
Well, I first of all, I have to definitely congratulate the Shaw Eagles because but let me say this though, even though that's my alma mater, I'm a realist. And I said at the beginning of the year, I didn't think they were gonna beat Bell Chase. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I gotta give them their props. MLK, man, I don't know. Like I I don't know where they didn't. It's like where y'all came from.
Right.
Like, like. So I think they caught me. I think they caught my eye when they beat McMain. Don't get me wrong, McMain hasn't been strong at all, but they beat McMain like 50-0, and I'm like, wait a minute, MLK actually just started their program. Like, I think this is their first year. Isn't this their first year playing varsity football? I know they had
I believe this is year number 2. I believe
year number 2. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And you look at their power ranking. I'm gonna let you continue, coach, on that one. My bad. They are in Division 3 in select, and they are number 10. Go.
Okay. All right. So yeah, they just started their program, and I think that's the thing that's shocking. I did a couple of games. I called a couple of games over there a couple of years ago, and I asked them were they ever going to have football. And that this was maybe 3-4 years ago. They didn't even know if they were going to have football. There was a push to have football. MLK administration wasn't sure if they weren't going to have it due to the added expense. So the fact that they're playing so well when having a program was in question just maybe 4 years ago is just an unbelievable feat in itself, accomplishment in itself.
Now, first of all, before we go further with MLK, where the school is located? That's what I want to know.
On the old Lawless campus. They tore down Lawless.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Because
Okay.
there was actually a riff. Well, not a riff, but they want the school to be called Lawless again. So the alumni from Lawless are fighting to get the name changed, which I think it is going to change after this year. I think it's going to go back to
Wow.
Lawless.
And that's big because, and I'm glad you're telling us that, Kennedy, and some people sometimes are mad at that because all these name changes. And I'm like this, stop it. The alumni are too strong. That's history that's being taken away.
Yeah.
And they want it back. So stop your crying and let these people have their history back. I feel sorry for false-shaped people. I feel sorry for the alumni. They cannot get their name back. Lusher they got that thing on lock so much. Now they didn't change it to the Willow School. It's a respectable school, and I give them that. But I'm sorry. It's like that's still Fauché High to me. That is still Alcee Fauché. And you took their name away. They'll never get their history back. I'm loving how these schools are getting their names back. Aberson got their name back. Reed got their name back. They started getting their name back. I'm loving it. I'm hoping that Lawless continue to fight and do get that. Not knocking what MLK is doing right now. This is good history for them. And I hope they continue their stride. But at the same time, that'd be great for the school if they change it back to what it was. And it shows that Lawless have more strong of alumni than I thought too.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Who's next? Who's next? Clark's going to take their name back as well. I'm waiting. Who's next? Who's going to take their name back? And not to me. When you look at it at our age, how our ancestors fought for those schools and fought for the freedoms and rights that we have. Don't you love what we're seeing right now, that they're taking their names back? A lot of these people, alumni who born, bred, and died for those schools, that they are taking their names, that taking their school name back. You look at the biggest thing I remember was Xavier Prep was about to be closed down, and the alumni came together and put their monies and said, "We're buying the property, and that school's not closed, and we're changing the name to the woman that created that school, Catherine Drexel."
Mm-hmm.
So, but I love this. This is almost like this is like the new era of the civil rights movement after what we have seen over the years. This is amazing stuff.
It is. But I'm gonna say this, VK. I don't think they're gonna get the Alcee Fauché name back, and I'm gonna tell you.
They're not.
I'm gonna tell you the main reason they're not. I'm gonna tell you the main reason they're not. Mr. Fauché was a slave owner. So.
Oh no! Here we go again with this loophole stuff.
I'm just telling you.
It's just like O.P. Walker. They find a loophole.
I'm telling you, Mr. Fauché was a slave owner.
Here's the thing.
I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you what it is. That's why they got rid of. Think about it. That's why they got rid of the name. They got rid of Robert Lusher because Lusher was a segregationist. That's why it's called a middle school right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That kind of makes me feel a little better when you say that.
So we ain't gonna go from a segregationist to a slave owner. I just don't see that happening.
Right.
It's kind of tough because you know why they said they found something with O.P. Walker. With him, O.P. Walker was a slave owner too. And my thing about it, it's about segregation. My thing about it is like, stop with it. It's hard for me to swallow it because of the fact of the matter is there are too many people that meant so much to those schools. Bump the name, bump the history, bump it. There's people that went through that school in them halls. I understand who this person. Stop. There's people that went through them schools. They keep talking about O.P. Walker's a white school. We're talking about the African Americans that went through there in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. We're not talking about those people. It's crazy. It's a double-edged sword. You make a great point, Everett, and I'm not disagreeing, but it's hard because I knew a couple cats. We knew cats that went through Fauché. We knew cats that went through a Perry Walker, and now it's gone because of a name.
Got a new movement, bro. New movement.
Hey, you're right about that.
All right, guys. Let's move on to
On.
week 8. Week 8 of the
I love it, man. We love this, bro. We do this every week, man. You know, sometimes we love to get to points like this every week. Glad to have you on, man. And this is good, interesting history. We sometimes have to point out, and I love it, man. I definitely love it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jared. We can't hold these people up.
No, we cannot hold people up, VK. Anyway, moving on to week 8 of Louisiana High School Football. Let's give our predictions. We got a lot of games to get into, so let's get it going. First one up. If I can get it up. There it is. Oh, it's not showing. There it is. Bell Chase, 4-3 on a 3-game losing streak, taking on Higgins, who is winless. I got Bell Chase. Who you got, VK?
Well, the over/under right now is like 35. Bell Chase.
Coach Bates.
Bell Chase. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Higgins has scored. I could be wrong. I don't think they scored over 14 points the whole year. I mean,
I think you're right.
so
I think you're right.
And I feel really bad for we've been
For Cliff.
talking about this for Clifford Harris, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Man. It's just a lot going on, not just and I don't think it's most of his staff. It's just something going on internally, behind the scenes. It's a lot of issues going on, especially Higgins, man. So we're not gonna see what it is, but I just feel bad for Clifford, man. He's just going through some rough times.
All right, 9th district, Booker T. Washington taking on Jesuit. I think the Blue Jays get their second win. I think they do. VK.
Going with the Booker T. Washington Lions this week, Arnold Barnes is going to run loose on the Blue Jays this week.
Coach Bates.
I'm going with Jesuit, man, because I'm looking at their last proponents, Kinder Discovery, McMain, Lane. I just don't think they're prepared for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have been playing a tougher schedule. I'm rolling with the Blue Jays.
Now here's the thing. Booker T beat John Everett and put 56 up. They don't fear nobody. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, this ain't John.
I know that.
This ain't John.
I know that. But Jesuit ain't.
Okay.
But I know that. But Jesuit ain't got the experience like Booker T has.
They ain't got any experience. They're just a better team.
Blue Jays by 2 touchdowns, man.
Blue Jays by 3.
Okay. I'm gonna be looking bad. You're gonna be looking bad next week. You look at me like that against what Eric said.
You could be looking bad come Thursday night when that score come out and the Jesuit win.
Okay.
Culver versus McDonough 35. Man, this is gonna be a good game, I believe. But I think Culver pulls it out. VK.
Woo. Man. And I hate to say it. You're right. And you're right. I'm about to make the announcement. This is going to be a very good game. This is the 3rd annual Wayne Reach Classic, as both teams go against each other, as they do a trophy each and every year, because Wayne Reach coached both of these teams, the legend himself who passed away a couple years ago. And as the family and everybody will come out there, including Wayne Reach Jr., who's the head coach of Booker T. He'll be there. Actually, he's coaching that same night. That's crazy.
He can't be there. He's coaching.
He's coaching the same night, so that's crazy.
Yeah, Thursday night game.
He usually would be there for that, but at the same time, it's a great all-around rivalry. Carver's been having the upper hand. McDonough 35 has a lot of experience and everything else, but it should be an interesting game. I will be having a call of that game Thursday night on Max Preps for the Southeast Louisiana Game of the Week. Myself and Jamal Greenberry will have the call of that ball game. So it should be interesting over at Pan Am on Thursday.
Coach Bates.
I'm gonna go with the Culver Rams, man. You know, and it's just a tough pick for me. I know 35 had a tough loss at Kentwood last week. But I just think that Culver, I think it's gonna be too much speed on the outside. For Culver, I think Culver gets the W.
Okay. Also on Thursday night, East St. John's, undefeated, going to Terrebonne to take on the Terrebonne Tigers. Too much East St. John.
East St. John's. East St. John stays unbeaten. Might be close early, but East St. John will get it done. They'll stay undefeated.
East St. John is on a mission, man, for that last game against Destrehan. East St. John all the way. They on a mission.
I agree. Also on Thursday night, Hornville at HL Bourgeois. Hornville gets their 4th win of the season. VK.
They must got some fairs this weekend in the River Parish or something like that, or homecomings, because there's a lot of River Parish games out there on a Thursday night. Gotta be some fairs out there or something. I got Hornville getting their 4th win against HL.
I got Hornville winning. If he don't win, he need to be fired.
Hey, it might be happening regardless. You didn't hear that from me.
HL Bourgeois, come on, man.
Right?
Hornville don't lose to no HL Bourgeois ever.
They're not supposed to. Not supposed to at all.
Well, I used to be doing the firing. I don't tell people when they fired. I changed my language, but plain and simple, all I'm gonna say is this: if Hornville loses, there's gonna be some furniture moving. There's gonna be some serious furniture moving.
Yes, sir.
Another big game happening Thursday night in New Orleans. They haven't said where the game is being played at because I know Gormley and Pan American are already taken, but Madison Prep is coming down to take on the Warren Easton Eagles Thursday night.
So wait a minute. The Jesuit Booker T is at Tad.
That's at Tad.
Because I thought at first Madison Prep and Easton was supposed to be at Tad. That's what I heard at first. But if that's it's set in stone for Jesuit to be at Tad Gormley, I think that game might be maybe at Joe Brown, possibly.
So
Brown or Tulane, one of the two. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Booker T versus Jesuit at Tad Gormley. Carvin 35 at Pan American. And we about to get to West Jeff and East Jeff in a minute. That's at Joe Yenny. They don't have a stadium next to Madison Prep and Warren Easton. So you might be right. Maybe Joe Brown Thursday night.
That'd be the next option.
Yeah. I got Warren Easton. I think Warren Easton pulls it out. I think they're starting to come together more. They get some players back from injuries. I got Warren Easton defeating Madison Prep. VK.
Well, Madison Prep, one of my upsets, my other upset last week that came through against University. They are coming along really, really good right now. It's going to be a hell of a ball game on Thursday night, but I do have Easton winning this ball game by a touchdown. It's going to be really, really close.
Coach Bates.
I have one. I agree with VK as far as Warren Easton winning, but I do not think it's going to be as close as people think. Madison Prep did have a very, very good win against University. But University is not Warren Easton whatsoever. And I am curious to see if Madison Prep can keep up with the tempo offense of Easton. The spread offense of Easton, should I say.
And actually, it's more of a run game with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Fred Robinson.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. Expect them to have a big game now.
West Jeff versus East Jeff at Joe Yenny. And before we get into this, head coach of East Jeff, Angel Cardona, resigned as the head coach.
Wow.
So when I was reading, it didn't say who was taking the spot as the interim, but yes, he has resigned after just taking the job this year with Coach what's his name? He's at Shaw. He's the OC at Shaw now.
Alelo.
Alelo, yes. Coach Alelo back at Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with West Jeff. I think West Jeff gets the job done over East Jeff. I think East Jeff is struggling right now, and now no leadership with the head coach resigning. I got West Jeff. VK.
The over-under on this game is under 24. West Jeff 12, East Jeff 6.
Coach Bates.
I have West Jeff winning 21-6.
Right. We're going to Baton Rouge for a second. Calicut Baton Rouge taking on Woodlawn of Baton Rouge. Calicut Baton Rouge, one of the best teams in the state. I'm going with them. VK.
Catholic number 1 in Division 1 in the power rankings. They're going to keep it going against Woodlawn this week. As the Bears, they are really having a good year. Only lost to St. Thomas More. So I got the Bears winning.
Coach Bates.
Catholic Bears big. They are Woodlawn is overmatched. I got the Bears big.
Sheldon Sampson gets 2 receiving touchdowns. I'm going with that.
Agreed.
A side prop bet.
I agree with that.
Now, my good friend from Gonzales, he says, man, y'all don't talk about East Ascension enough. I say, what you mean? We talked about them in week 1 against Zachary, y'all lost. Week 2 against West Monroe, y'all won. Week 3 against Destrehan, y'all lost. We talked about East Ascension, but I said, I'll do you a favor. I'll put them back on the show. East Ascension going up against Denham Springs. This is my upset pick. I think East Ascension gets the job done. Yeah, VK, you can make that face all you want. That's all right. You can cover your face. It's all good. East Ascension gets the job done. I feel it. I feel it. Go ahead, VK. Go ahead and say
you're feeling it in your soul, huh? You're feeling it in your soul, right?
That's right. Dude.
Shout out to my people. Shout out to some of my people in Gonzales, around Sorrento, and all them other people. I love all y'all people out there, man. But at the same time, let's be real. This is the most up and down team in the state. The most up and down team in the state. That's East Ascension. And it's going to continue to be that way. Denham Springs big.
Coach Bates.
East Ascension has a lot of size, a lot of speed, but they do not have a lot of continuity going on right now. It's not about their talent. It's about being consistent for them. And the fact that they're not consistent right now is the fact that Denham Springs is going to win this game by a couple of touchdowns. Denham Springs big.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Archbishop Shaw, 5-2. Going to Patterson to take on the Patterson Lumberjacks. Shaw big over Patterson. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Shaw alumnus. I'm just looking at strength of schedules for both teams. And what St. James did to Patterson also was criminal. I think there's another crime happening in Patterson, Louisiana. Shaw big over Patterson.
I gotta agree. I have to agree with you. Patterson is up and down their sales. They're a little bit over 500, but Shaw, they're starting to get up there, and they're on a good little winning streak right now. So the Shaw Eagles, they're trying to make a push going forward, and right now Shaw is right in the thick of things in the power rankings Division 2. They are number 8. So I like Shaw winning this one.
Coach Bates.
Let me say this, fellas. So when you go to a town like Patterson, Louisiana is one of those towns where, the hardware shop shuts down early, the gas station shuts down, everybody goes to the game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you go in environments like this, funny things tend to happen. Questionable calls, turnovers. So I'm gonna say Shaw wins the game, but as old boy Corso would say, closer than the experts think.
Right. We're going to Sulphur, Louisiana on this one. Talking about people that shut down their businesses early to attend a football game. Definitely in Sulphur for sure.
They shut down about what? 4 o'clock? No, they shut down at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. That's what they shut it
3
down.
o'clock.
And there's New York people right there in Lake Charles.
That's
3 o'clock they shut it down, or 2:45.
They shut it down to go get their seats for this game. Destrehan, undefeated, to take on the Sulphur Tornadoes. I got Destrehan, and I don't think it'll be close. I think Destrehan win by at least 30. VK.
Good night. You got the point spread that big. My goodness. Destrehan, I'm going to agree with you on that. I might go with the same 30. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Scott has his team on another level. And all I know, we're looking forward to the Destrehan East St. John matchup.
Yes, we are. Coach Bates.
Marcus Scott is going to keep this team focused. He's not going to let this be a trap game whatsoever. He knows what's at the end of the season for him. That's your hand big.
All right. We're coming back down I-10 East to Lafayette. St. Thomas More, 6-1. Turlins Catholic, 7-0. Both are in the top 3 of the power rankings. Something has to give. Who gets the win? This is going to be a close game. Whoever makes the most mistakes will lose, more than likely. I'm going with Turlings Catholic on this one. Probably by a field goal. That's how close I think it'll be. VK.
Gotta agree with you. Turlins Catholic's on a mission. They're trying to get over that semifinal hump. They have been there and done that. This is a very good program, and this is really a coming out party, especially what they've been doing this season. It's gonna be a close game against Turlins, and I can't believe we mentioned it. We mentioned about the Division II, and speaking of that, they're playing this week.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Guess what? One of them's gonna get knocked off, and that'll be a chance for John F. Kennedy to jump into the top 3. I like Turlings to win this ball game, and they are a proven team, and they're very, very good. St. Thomas More is good as well.
Yeah.
And what's funny, St. Thomas More has one of my class of 97 classmates who's out there in Lafayette. His son actually is starting for St. Thomas More, and he's a youngster as well. But going with Turlins Catholic on this
one. Coach Bates.
Not so fast.
Here we go.
St. Thomas More in the last 3 games have scored 42, 42, and 49. Offense is not the problem for them. I think they have a better offense than Turlin Catholic, and I think the Cougars get the victory over Turlin Catholic.
Okay. We're staying in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Well, I'm gonna say it before you go ahead. I see where you're coming from, Everett. You can stay with your picks, but you need to go look at Turlin's schedule and see who they beating.
Yeah, I understand.
Look at it seriously. All I'm gonna tell you, what they did to Westgate was criminal. That's all I'm gonna say. But go
8-point victory. 8-point victory.
But still, not too many teams win at Westgate, and they came in there and won that thing. So,
well, that's true. I get that. St. Thomas' only loss was to Catholic. Okay, top team, 20-point loss. Score didn't really define how the game went. Catholic kind of pulled away at the end, but I think they got something in store.
All right,
should be interesting.
It's a rivalry. When it's a rivalry, you throw out everything. When it's a rivalry.
That's right. All right. So staying in Lafayette, Westgate to take on Lafayette Christian Academy. 2 very good programs. but I think Ryan Antoine and his team will come through with a close victory. I got Westgate. VK.
I'm going to agree with you on this one. Westgate, a little bit more disciplined right now than Lafayette Christian. So I like Westgate in the close one.
Coach Bates.
Westgate all the way.
We're back in New Orleans. The Rummel Raiders to take on the Brother Martin Crusaders. And Rummel is on a 3-game losing streak ever since losing to Scotlandville. And they haven't been able to bounce back yet. And I don't think they will bounce back in this game either. I think Coach Bonice and his offense will get it rolling early. I have Brother Martin defeating Rummel. VK.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you on this one. And I'm going to agree with a guy named Mr. Johnson, who's probably watching.
Oh God.
It's gonna be maybe close early, but I think the Crusaders and Mark Bonice is starting to get something going. So I'm gonna go with my good friend Mark Bonice and Mr. Johnson and those Crusaders to get it done over the Raiders.
Coach Bates.
I'm going with Brother Martin. Rummel's defense it can't stop the pass, they can't stop the run, it can't stop anybody right now. So I'm gonna go with Brother Martin for the win. Torrey Lambert over 100 yards rushing.
I agree. Newman versus Country Day. I think Arch Manning will be sitting at halftime. Newman big over Country Day. VK.
Pretty much the same. No words. What you just said is good enough for me. Newman all day, every day.
Coach Bates.
Country Day is a little bit overmatched. It's just overmatched in this game.
Yeah.
It'll be Arch will be sitting at halftime on this one.
Going to the North Shore. Covington Lions versus the Slidell Tigers. Covington 5-2, Slidell 6-1. The difference in this game to me will be Coach Malter Scoble's defense. Slidell has a great defense, and they have won them ball games this year, and our defense will win them another ball game come Friday night. I got Slidell. VK.
I feel that Covington is a good team, very improved this year by Greg Salter. It's going to be a close game against Slidell, but I like Malta Scoba and his defense. They are really on fire, and to me, probably one of the best defenses in the state. Slidell over Covington.
Coach Bates.
This will probably be one of the better. It probably will be one of the better games in the metro area.
Yeah.
This coming weekend. It's a toss up for me, but I got Slidell winning close, very close.
Joe Yenny Stadium, Friday night. I hope Charles Allen is watching this right now. Grace King to take on Bonneville. Bonneville in a close one. I got Bonneville. VK.
This is a toss-up game. Grace King fighting Irish. Over Bonneville.
Okay. Coach Bates.
I don't think Bonneville has a coach right now. I got some reports that coach is something happened over there. I'm gonna check with my AD in the morning, but I don't know if they have a coach right now. To be honest with you, Grace King for the win.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
News. That's news. Okay.
That's news. Hey, Everett, if you off the air, if you get it, you know our inbox. Hit us up on the inboxes on Facebook. Go hit us up because we need to know about that because that's
I think they got some trouble over there, man. I'm not sure they even have a head coach right now.
I know they didn't Bonneville got into a little trouble with maybe equipment and stuff like that. They had to get some things straight, but that's all I knew. That's before the season started.
Right.
but
Had,
they
yeah,
had a
helmets hadn't been decommissioned. That's correct.
right. That's the thing I heard. Then
Right.
now, the new head coach knew everything.
Let me recheck my sources, but I
Yeah,
think
because Micah Hagan's good friend of mine. Start, athletic director, new coaches and all that stuff, and they just beat East Jeff last week. So wow, that's interesting to hear. So I guess off there just
let me double check that.
appreciate it. Oh my
All
goodness.
right. John Everett going to Chalmette. John Everett playoff hopes are resting on this game right here. It's been a season that I didn't think I would see. I saw 0-5 Everett team that I don't think I ever saw in my life, and now they're 2-5. Everett has to win district in order to make the playoffs. This is an important game for them right here, because they can beat Grace. Well, they already did beat Grace King. They can beat Bonneville, and they can beat whoever else I'm missing. Riverdale, I believe. No, not Riverdale. East Jeff. They could beat them. They have to get by Chalmette first. And with that being said, it's not going to happen. The Chalmette Owls will defeat the John Everett Patriots. And what's crazy to me, and VK, you know this is true, John Everett doesn't even have more than 50 players on their team. That was just eye-popping to me, Coach Bates. Like, how? But I got Chalmette. Go ahead, VK.
Well, the de facto district championship in the district. Who's gonna win that one? Well, like I said, by default, Chalmette was going to win the district, and I think they're going to win this game right here. Going to be a very close one. Chalmette by a field goal.
Everett has given up over 40 points at least 4 or 5 times this year. They cannot stop anybody. Chalmette for the win.
In the car, taking on Holy Cross. My good friend Tommy Connors, the defensive coordinator at Holy Cross, he got his hands full on this one. He got receivers. He's got running backs. And he has my cousin to worry about, AJ Samuel. It's too much.
Don't say that, Mark.
It's too much. In the car with the victory over Holy Cross. VK.
Carr is on a mission. I'm about to go, but the old line on the Blues Brothers. Edna Carr is on a mission from God, and they're gonna keep it going. The train took a little rough start against Jesuit, and it goes. The freight train of Edna Carr continues against Holy Cross.
Coach Bates.
Edna Carr is on a mission, man. I think they are upset. I think they are angry with what has happened to them, which by right I would be angry. I really think that the LHSAA, really, really, really messed over them on a small technicality, so small that all the coach had to do was run to the printer and go get the transcript and put it in the folder.
That's it.
That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
We're not talking about if the kid took the class, he didn't have an updated transcript. So my thing is, Carr's on a mission. They're gonna beat the heck out of everybody except for Curtis. Not saying that they won't win that game, but I don't think they're gonna blow them out. But this game here, it'll be over. It'll be over in the first quarter.
Okay. Riverdale.
The smoke this fire.
Riverdale at De La Salle. De La Salle. Go ahead, VK.
The over-under is 40. De La Salle. all day, every day. Coach Jared has done a great job with this program, and probably the team to beat in Division Two.
Coach Bates.
De La Salle, big, 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 big.
Hmm.
Is it
Well,
about 40, over 40 big or something, or
yeah,
35?
I don't even think Riverdale gonna score for one thing.
me neither.
De La Salle probably gonna put up at least about 45, 50. It's gonna be over 40, that's for sure.
And I was shocked last week with Riverdale getting that win against McMain. I can't believe it.
I wasn't.
I know there's a lot going
I
on.
wasn't.
I can't believe it. And I still cannot believe it.
Hmm. Our
And
good
speaking of
friend,
McMain,
yep, our good friend Reggie just commented, "Go Saters," and Carr's kicking game still worries him. Well, number one, Reggie, we already talked about Brother Martin. We all are in agreement. You guys will beat Rumble. And as far as Carr's kicking game still worrying you, worry about something else.
yeah, we're about the your team right now. Oh, I forgot. He a Yankees fan with you, huh?
Yes, Yankees.
God,
Yes.
dog it, man.
It's all right.
I'm good.
Stroll's got something for y'all, that's for sure.
So we got something for them.
Yeah, yeah,
We owed him a couple.
yeah.
All
But
right.
it's-
Speaking of McMain, so Shan Williams, who was the head coach, was relieved of his duties as head coach. The athletic director, Darren Riley, has stepped in for the time being. Maine
I
0-7,
didn't know
taking
that.
on Kenner Discovery. Lost to
yeah.
Riverdale last week at for their homecoming. Kenner Discovery, big VK.
I just feel a little bad for Big Man. I know they didn't have a long season, but for Shan to be gone the way it has happened, it's bad in itself that things are not looking up, not just with McMahon, but also with what's going on behind the scenes as well. It's not looking too bright. But at the same time, Kinder Discovery is going to take advantage of everything that's going on right now with Ed McMahon. So Kinder Discovery big this week.
Now,
Coach Bates.
I do have accurate information on this game. This is back. This is 100%. This is a game where both head coaches are not there. One was fired, one was suspended.
Right.
So this is going to be
And,
very interesting.
and PJ Sparks is still suspended.
Still.
That's
Yes.
that's interesting to hear.
Yeah. So, yep, he is suspended. But Kenan Discovery should win. They should win. Should win.
All right. We spoke about this team earlier, and here they are. ML King Charter, 6-1, going to take on the St. Charles
Hmm.
Comets, 4-3. I, I got St. Charles. I got St. Charles. I hoping for a good game though. Can ML King bring it to St. Charles Comet and let them know that they were at least in a fight? That's what I want to know. But I got St. Charles Catholic winning. VK.
I also have St. Charles Catholic winning this game. I think it will be close. I think MLK is going to play their best game of the season because they're playing up to an opponent that's the defending state champs and everything else. But, St. Charles will win, but I think MLK is going to really make them earn it. So, but I think Coach Stein is trying to look for something in his team going forward to especially trying to defend their state championship.
Coach Bates.
I'm gonna say this, man. I really, really hope MLK wins this game. But I see this game is setting up where MLK is playing a team that's not going to beat itself, that's not going to commit penalties. You know, can MLK stay penalty? Well, I'm not going to say penalty free, but can they keep the penalties at a minimum? I think if they do that, they can win this game. They really can. But I they've never been in this situation before. So that's why I got St. Charles Catholic for this game. This will be an experienced teacher for MLK if they happen to lose this game based on lack of discipline, should I say. So I'm gonna say St. Charles Catholic.
Okay. Got another big game. Sophie B. Wright, 6-1, taking on Livingston. I think this is gonna be a close contest, but I'm going with Sophie B. Wright. I think Sophie B. Wright defeats Livingston. VK.
I think this game is going to be really, really close. Both teams evenly matched. I was wrong about Sophie B. Wright, and I give them a lot of props, big time props to athletic director and a good friend of mine, Jason Bertrand. They're doing a really good job. They're proving people wrong, and that's why I have Livingston for the win this week in a close game. I think Livingston has some really good athletes, and I think Livingston a tad bit better than Wright, but it's going to be evenly matched, and it's going to be very close. No disrespect to Sophie B. They have really proven themselves. But I think Livingston and Coach Francois is going to really bounce back this week.
Coach Bates.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I haven't seen Livingston. I have seen Wright because they played Haynes, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Livingston, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, we played Wright, and the score was like 14-8 for like 3 quarters. And the thing about it is, Sophie B. Wright is huge, and I'm sitting there like, there is no way we supposed to be. Now they ended up pulling away, but for 3 quarters, like it was only 14-8. And we was able to move the ball and everything else. And I'm like, what? This not supposed to be happening like this. So when I see teams that are like that, I wonder if they're underachieving in a sense. Because ain't no doubt they're huge. Their front line is huge. Their offensive line is big. You know, they got some monsters. But the level of play don't match the players that we see. So that's why, even though I haven't seen Livingston, I know VK had said some things about Livingston early in the season, having a lot of talent and stuff. I'm going to go with Livingston.
All right. Okay. Speaking of Haynes will be hosting the Kennedy Cougars, I believe. Coach Bates, I feel bad for you.
Look, y'all just need to let me pick this one.
Coach Bates, it's on you. You don't have to pick this one because you represent your school. You don't have to. If you want to, that's fine. But that's on you because I know this is your school. You're dean of students, and also you are the coach of the women's team. So it's on you if you want to pick.
Well, I'm gonna pick. I do. You know, it is what it is. You know, and I have a very good relationship with our coach Ben Powell. I think he's doing a phenomenal job with what he has.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing with what he has. I just don't want the kids to get hurt. That's the only thing I'm concerned about right now. I do not want the kids to get hurt whatsoever. You know, if the game kind of gets out of hand, I really would like for them to do a running clock. You know, it's gonna be bad. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be bad. We don't match up. We just don't match up. You know, we got good kids that play hard. You know, they work hard, but we just don't match up whatsoever. So, you know, big ups to Coach Elpheage. I wanted to tell him, hey man, do running clock in the second half, but y'all ain't put me on with him. But that's all right though. I think he's a good character guy. I think he's gonna show good sportsmanship and take it kind of easy on us.
All right. So we all in agreement with Kennedy.
I'm gonna tell it like it is. You know, I'm going to tell it like it is, whether it's my school or not. I'm sorry.
Good man.
Definitely. Landry, take it on Helen Cox. So VK has been saying, watch out for Helen Cox. Watch out for him. And they lost to MLK last week. Does Helen Cox bounce back this week, VK? I say no. I think Noah Ellis and Munchie Lego will have this team ready. I got Landry by 20.
Wow. This game is going to be intense. Very intense. And it's going to be very close. Cox is going to bounce back and they will win. And one reason why, because Emmanuel Powell. He is taking this game very, very seriously, and he wants the payback he deserves because of what happened years ago when he coached Landry Walker years after the state championship. He's taking it personal. That staff he has is the same staff. They're taking it personal. I like Cox because they have a lot more experience than Landry. They're going to bring the intensity. It's going to be close, but I got Cox bouncing back.
Coach Bates.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Cox has been a big disappointment because I had them as a dark horse to win the district if Bell Chase didn't win it. I'm gonna go with Landry, man. I'm gonna go to Landry. I understand about Emmanuel Powell and wanting to get back at it, get back at them, but it's about the players on the field, man. And the players on the field are really underachieving right now. I don't know what's going on with them. I really thought that they would be 5-2 right now instead of 2-5. Landry to me is just playing like a young team that don't have nothing to lose, which can be very scary for the opponent. So I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers, man. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers to beat Cox.
All right. Last one. Saturday, 2:00. Joe Yenny, the Purple Knights of St. Aug, take on
Yikes.
the John Curtis Christian Patriots. Oh, this is going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good one. But VK, man, St. Aug has been playing very good. So has John Curtis. But VK, I'm sorry. Y'all will get y'all third loss of the year, but officially your second, since the DeSoto doesn't count. That was on national TV. I got the Patriots defeating St. Aug by a touchdown. John Curtis. And that sets up the district showdown eventually between Carr and Curtis. What you got, VK?
Well, at least you respected the Aug and just you said lose by a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So
I haven't said trash about Aug in over 2 years.
And you shouldn't. Thank you, sir. Because I know he was trying to talk it. He shouldn't do it anymore. And then Reggie tried to talk it a couple weeks ago on the show, and I had to tell him off. And I even had to tell Ryan Clark something about that on my show years and years ago. So plain and simple, if you are Archbishop Shaw alumni from 1993 to 1997, please count how many games you faced St. Aug in football, please, and come with it right, and come with the right record. And that's all. Now, going into the game. See, thank goodness ever that you was way before. You left in what, 93?
I was 91, 95.
91, 95. Oh, so you left in 95.
Mm-hmm. We were 2-2.
Good Lord. Ooh. Yeah.
We were 2-2. We won our freshman year and we won our senior year.
Okay. But basketball wise, you left the year. Oh God. I just felt
we were just talking about football. Weren't we just talking about football?
We are talking about football.
You started basketball.
Jay, man. You see how he switched it on me right
there? You know why I switched it?
You know why he flipped it on me?
You know why I switched it? 95 national championship when all blasted almost everybody. Just saying.
You had to get that out there, huh?
Hey, Just saying, I'm not talking no smack. It's just
We
true.
ain't say you talking smack, but we talking
Hey,
football, man.
look.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
No,
Let's get it.
hold on. He got it out there, but damn it. Oh, I forgot this is a family show. I got it. Shoot, we got a double. We got a W against St. No. We got a W. We could beat them all the time, but we did get them in '93 at home. Mark Moore, Renee Ford. Renee Ford had 27 points in that game. You know, against Troy Wharton and Vershaw Shaw, we got the W. So we have beaten y'all, sir. We haven't beaten y'all as much, but we did beat y'all.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, and we swept them this past season.
Okay.
Oh, now you're quiet.
I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. It
All
was
right.
was it better
Hey.
than the 2 losses in 2 weeks in football last season?
Wait, what about what about the games when Chiron was at QB and we hung like 50?
Well, I'm not worried about that. I wasn't there.
See, see, see how you is?
When I was there, we was 3-2. We faced
Oh,
up 5 times,
okay.
so
All right.
I'm good. But
All right,
besides
back to
that,
football. Go ahead with your pick. Let's
football.
go.
Back to
Back to
football.
football. All right.
We got to close this out, man. Man, it's been fun. This is a close game. It's going to be very close. Curtis has been playing much, much better. They're so close in the power rankings in Division One. It's not even funny. St. August 4, John Curtis is 5. The winner will have an upper hand a little bit. Curtis is going to get this. This is going to be a good game. I got St. Aug by a touchdown. I got St. Aug winning and solidifying them as probably the second place finish in the Catholic League.
All right, Coach Bates.
Not so fast. I have John Curtis winning, but let me tell you why I have John and Curtis winning. I have John Curtis winning only because I believe they're going to have fewer penalties than St. Aug in this game. That's the only reason I got them winning. I think this game will come down to who. It ain't about exit. It ain't about talent. It's gonna come down to who commits the less penalties, and I think Curtis will be committing the less penalties in this game. That's why I think that's the only reason I think they gonna win. So
Okay.
It's the only reason that's it's an interesting reason, but at the same time, St. Aug has not been committing a lot of penalties this season. So you make a good
talking
point.
about this game, just this game.
This game. We're gonna see, but you make a good
Mhm.
point. But like I said, this season, St. Aug has not committed too many penalties, so it's
Right.
an interesting
About who
point.
commits the less penalties. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
Whoever commits the less penalties will win this game.
and not just that, who commits the less mistakes.
Right.
That's more important besides penalties. Who commits the less
Mhm.
mistakes?
All right. Before we go, I got a question for Coach Bates. So ever since the split has happened, you've been very critical of it. What do you think about the change to the split now?
It's if I had to rate it, it's a B. I give it a B. It's better. It's not the best, but it is better. I think what was interesting for me was how it all happened because it was really, really like I was like, this is like some mafia type stuff. Because like when you talk to other principals, like none of the principals was informed, especially down here. None of the principals even knew. The executive committee just made that decision. Sharon Clark, which is on the executive committee, wasn't even there, you know. So there was it was almost like, man, y'all did this on a hush hush without even, notifying everybody, keeping everybody informed. I mean, you have some people that like it, you have some people that don't like it. I still don't think it puts the best. It puts some of the best teams together, but it don't put all of the best teams together. Like
Right.
I would have loved to see, Carr go up against a Zachary, or Easton go up against a Zachary, for a state championship,
Yeah.
Um, but it is better. It is a little better, but basically all you have is a playoff. You have a playoff with the Shreveport schools, the Baton Rouge schools, and the New Orleans schools. That's
And
all you got.
some
And
Lafayette
some
schools.
Lafayette. That's all you got. And everybody else is on the other side. That's what you got.
Yep.
So, I mean, is it better? Yeah. Is it great? It's okay, I guess.
Yep. Everyone, we thank y'all for tuning in to the Hash It Out Show. Special thanks to Coach Lynarise Elpheage.
Yeah.
Coach Bates, thank you for coming in, my friend. And we definitely gonna have you on again, brother. Definitely.
Man, it's my pleasure. Man, I always have a good time with you guys, man. I'll be, I'll come on anytime, man. Thank y'all for having me. For real.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, and also wish you the best this season
Definitely.
at Haynes. And we definitely gonna try and come to a couple of games and everything. And I know the transition with the girls is gonna be a little tough, but we wish you the best. And like I said, welcome back to the coaching.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
VK, you got any last words before we go?
Man, I'm like this. Y'all appreciate having me on everything. Carver 35, the Max Preps Southeast Louisiana Game of the Week. Tune in. It'll be Thursday night at Pan America. We'll have the link coming up by no later than tonight, later on tonight or tomorrow. Pan Am Stadium. We'll have it live, 7 p.m. to kick off. And y'all be safe this weekend, man, because they got a lot of homecomings on the college side on this weekend. Because you're going to Tulane. I'm probably gonna go to Southern's homecoming in Baton Rouge, Jackson State. All these colleges got some big time homecomings. So y'all go out, have a good time, be safe,
Can I
don't
say
drink and
one more
drive.
thing, man? Can I
Yes,
say one
sir.
more thing?
Yes,
I
sir.
want to give out, and I don't know if you
Yes.
ever talked about this, but I want to give a shout out to Coach Cheryl Crutchfield, man, because I've been watching the Bogalusa Lumberjacks, and then last week, they've had so much success, but I think last week there was a shooting outside of their
Yeah.
stadium against Jules Sumner,
Yes.
and I've been reading his posts on Facebook. I'm Facebook friends with him, and he's trying to keep his team upbeat. I think that some of the kids may have been friends with the person that has been killed. So I just want to say big ups to him because he's doing a phenomenal job, man, at Bogalusa, and they coming. They are definitely coming, man. But
Totally agree.
I like the way he's been rallying the troops after a tragedy, should I say?
I totally agree. Shout out to Coach Cheryl Crutchfield out there in Bogalusa. Definitely agree with you, Coach Bates. So, everybody, we thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We're going to try to have some more guests, so stay tuned to our Facebook pages. So, we're not going to say any names yet of who we might have, but when it comes through, you'll know. Until next week, everybody, y'all take care. We see y'all later.